Hi there, and ever since I spoke about the what I'm going to be grabbing for Halloween this year, which is going to be the Vinegar Syndrome October package, I've gotten asked a lot in in messages and on other social medias to talk a little bit more about Vinegar Syndrome as a company. And because I got some stuff since I came out here, I'll actually go over my complete Vinegar Syndrome collection that I got. Now I got just a couple DVDs. Most of them are Blu-ray, some limited editions here, so I'll show you those. And I'll show you why Vinegar Syndrome puts the best damn slipcovers in the business. I'll talk about the limited edition releases, a couple that I got that I missed out on, and let you guys know what I think of the company overall. And if you've watched the videos, you know that I love Vinegar Syndrome as a company, and they put out a lot of the type of movies that I like. I like a lot of the cheesy, like B-grade, Z-grade movies, the actioners and stuff like that, the horror films that they put out. So you're going to get to see a bunch of those here. I don't have a lot in the more of the adult vein. When I get something like that, I tend to go to more like ones that have kind of like how they're historical or a story significance that I like, just something I really like. When it comes to me, when I pick out movies, I pick out stuff that I know that I can watch and really enjoy. So I'll go over the DVDs that I got first, and then we'll go into the Blu-rays and the limited editions. We'll talk about all that stuff. Now, first up is one here by, what's his name again? Mark Cartels. Hope I got the pronounced right. Runaway Nightmare. Now, Runaway Nightmare is one that I haven't seen in a while, and I haven't watched it since I got it, because this was specifically bought. I wanted the movie, but so that I could have it for the month of Halloween. This is gonna be one of those like kind of cheesy fun ones that I want to watch on Halloween. It's one of the DVDs. That's because there was a Blu-ray of this, like many Vinegar Syndrome's limited editions. This one went out of print. Not this here. The Blu-ray of this one out of print, and the only way you can get it is now through a DVD copy. And DVD copy is kind of cool for me. I'm actually really looking forward to watching this. My mom owned a convenience store when I was in college, and we bought a bunch of VHS to rent at the store. VHS was very popular. Now, about like 15 or so of them came, they all came in their cases and stuff. Like 15 or so of them came. The cases were like damaged too badly, or were lost in either in transit, or they didn't have them anymore. And one of the movies that was there that had kind of like, it was the actual film, it wasn't a dub or anything like that, it was the actual movie, just didn't have a case with it, was a movie called Pets. The director of this also directed the movie Pets, and I really enjoyed that movie. Not sure if that's out on Blu-ray or DVD yet. I don't own it. I would love to own it if Vinegar Syndrome hasn't put it out. They seem like the type of company that would put out the movie Pets. If they got it in their collection, I haven't seen it, I apologize, but I really don't think that they did have it yet. So, and Mark Cartel is the director, writer, producer, editor, and star. So he does a lot of stuff in this. He wears a lot of hats. Again, it's horror, black comedy, action, thriller, surrealist cinema, as they say here in the back. So really looking forward to checking out this. I love the cover of this one here too. It's really neat. So Pets was one of those movies that I watched because I had to do a description for it for our store, and so there's about 15 or 20 of them that I had to watch. 3 that I keep watching in rotation because I really liked the film. To end up putting them back, watching them over and over again myself. One was Pets. One was a movie called Lords of Discipline, which I'm sure many of you have seen, and the other one was The Betsy by it's the Harold Robbins film. There's just something within the cast of that film, and that caught me at that time. So next up is a driving collection. The only driving collection one I got. It is a good one though. It's a Ciro Santiago double feature. If you're familiar with kind of like cheesy horror and cheesy action films, like mostly cheesy action films really, then you know the name Ciro Santiago. Trust me, look him up. He puts in some really cool cheesy stuff. Death Force was a blast. We had a lot of fun watching this movie here. I really can't describe. You've just got to watch it. It's a really, really fun film. And right next to it is Vampire Hookers, which is much tamer than you would think, actually. Just some basic nudity, but really it's John Carradine here, and that's John Carradine right there, and that kind of like, as Pimp Dracula. Really, it's very cheesy. But again, one that I really did enjoy. Ciro Santiago films, whenever I see them on Vinegar Syndrome, and I usually try to pick up something by by him, and hopefully there's more of those that I will be able to grab. Next up is an adult one, by the way, and that one is called Dracula Sucks. Now it stars Jamie Gillis in it. This is an adult film, but I do find it to be actually a pretty cool kind of vampire film. So very different. I really did like it. There's two cuts of the film on here. There's the other cut is called Lust at First Bite. There's another commentary with Bill Margold, and the return to shooting locations on here as well, plus more. So it's a 2-disc set. I was a really big fan of this movie. I actually saw this movie way before I was old enough to see it. I was renting Dracula movies around that time, and this one I guess was supposed to have been on VHS in the adult section, but for some reason it had found its way out into the regular horror section, and I don't think they knew. So when I rented it, I was a very wide-eyed buy, but I actually really do like Jamie Gillis, so I actually found it to be a fun film. Next up is one that Sex in the Comics, and that one actually is probably a lot tamer than Dracula Sucks, to be completely honest with you. And I got that because it's like got some bonus features on it as well. Now George Buck Flowers, the Western actor, does a role in this film. You usually get like one or two, like from the early adult stuff, when they were still making like usually like 2 cuts of a film, like an R-rated cut for for regular theaters, and more of an X-rated or cut for like for the adult theaters. You'd get like a 1 or 2, and they wouldn't be acting in the adult scenes, but they'd act in some like the more of the storyline portion of the films. So he's in that. Now this one has 2 extra features on it. It's got one that's called Sex Tunes, which really is just animated like adult cartoons, and like goes from like different eras, and like up from like the 30s to the 70s type of thing. And then the other one's The Funky World of Adult Cartoon, which is more of pretty much the same, just in a different format. Now I did want this for basically for those, like to get the kind of the evolution of the the adult cartoons. Some are kind of surrealistic, some are pretty much what you think they're going to be, some are just really cheesy fun, and the actual movie itself, Sex in the Comics, was kind of a strange, weird movie. They actually used like a kind of really cool, like rather than have a normal backdrop, they have like comic strip style backdrop in the background. Many of the actors wore like these kind of masks, which made their face look more comic oriented, but like could have like gigantic eyeballs. It's just really freaky film. Next up is a limited edition. They made 1,500 of these, and this is one of the limited editions that hasn't sold out, and it's a shame. Now, though it does say rated X, as far as I remember, it's a pretty soft X. Though I would recommend, if it's something you're gonna watch with like maybe a younger person, watch it first. Now, the guy that did this movie here is John Hayes, and John Hayes is probably more popular for horror movie fans for a movie called Grave of the Vampire. Now you can see usually cut versions of that movie on a lot of like Mill Creek box sets and stuff like that, and it starred Wim Smith and Michael Pataki, and I really do like the movie Grave of the Vampire. And he also made this one here, The Cutthroats. So Michael Pataki actually does have a role in this film, kind of a small role. It's kind of like a kind of almost like a Nazi, but it's like kind of Nazi, like a Nazi camp. Like there's treasure. They're trying to like basically seek out this treasure at this kind of like Nazi camp, like where these women are, and that were kind of like trained to, I guess, sort of trained to seduce the men. It's a pretty good movie. I really did enjoy it. I've watched it at least two times now, and I'll probably watch it. I'll definitely watch it again. I watched a lot of my movies over more than once, which I got a lot down there that I still have to watch, but I do go to usually 2 to 3 movies per night if I can. I'm not an early sleeper, so that's usually what happens. Now let's get to all the Blu-rays, because that's what you guys came here for. You want to get the Blu-ray goodness. So first up is a Linnea Quigley double feature, and there are 2 films. One is Murder Weapon and the other is Deadly Embrace. Now there are some pretty cheesy stuff in there. I love Linnea Quigley. There's commentary on with Dave Dakota, who's the director, and Linnea Quigley on both films. So he directed both of these films. So you can think of it almost like a Linnea Quigley, Dave Dakota double feature. Now, Murder Weapon is pretty cheesy. It's not a great movie, but I had a lot of fun with it. It's pretty obvious who the killer is. It tries to be a mystery, but it's really not. Now, there's a few big actors in it too. I think like oh man, I know Lyle Wagner's in it. Got a small part in it, and there's a couple big actors in that one. With the second one, Deadly Embrace, now that one also has like a bigger actor too, which is like Jamaica Vincent. Oh, I know from Airwolf and bunch of movies. But again, Linnea Quigley, this looks like it's like just a sexploitation thing, but it's not. It's kind of like a. It is a bit, I guess, more Linnea Quigley. It's not really a horror type. I mean, but like one's supposed to be a mystery one where two women, kind of like a release from an asylum, and they're for some reason they invite all their old boyfriends to their house for a party. And then people start dying. Yeah, that's never a great idea. And Deadly Embrace is more like the kind of what you'd expect for like a kind of like the lower budget, but like kind of cool, like softcore thrillers that they did back in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. Mostly in the 80s and 90s when I really think of like a good thriller in that vein. And those are severely underrepresented, so I'm really glad that Vinegar Syndrome is around to do that, actually. Next up is a completely different turn of events, and that is a blaxploitation film, a comedy one with a lot of action called Dolomite. It stars Rudy Ray Moore. Now, Rudy Ray Moore was a stand-up comedian, and one of his kind of his stick thing was that he'd tell these almost like these spoken word, almost like poems, but kind of like these spoken word stories that would kind of rhyme, and it was kind of one of the things he was known for. He's a big guy too. Now he doesn't manage to get that into the film as well. There's actually 3 other films that they put out. I don't have the other 3, which I really want though. Petey Wheatstraw, Disco Godfather, and Human Tornado are the other 3 films that Vinegar Syndrome put out. This is the alternate cover. The original cover that they had on there, like I guess the new cover, is this one right here. I go back and forth between which ones I like. But this one has the old school, like 1970s kind of looking cover to it, so I do keep that one on there. Next up is a really cool cheesy one, and this is one that a lot of people get introduced to Vinegar Syndrome with, because it's one of those action crazy ones that people hear about, and then they realize, they're seeing like a bunch of, it could be like a Brandon Tenold video, or like or Deck of Shadow or something like that, and they'll like want to see that. It's like a Miami Connection type of weirdness to it, and that is raw force. There you go. It is kung fu and zombies, and oh, man, there's a bunch of stuff in here. So we got, and it's a great restoration too. There's a new 2K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative. We got the Destination Warriors Island featurette with the director Ed Murphy and cinematographer Frank Johnson. Audio interview with finishing editor Jim Wynorski. No surprise if you see this one, actually. And original theatrical trailer. It is a really, really cool film, and it is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Now, you gotta look, but a lot of these here are like are done region free. Now, some of the later Vinegar Syndrome stuff they do have the region locks, so I always check to be sure. But like ones like Deadly Weapon, for instance, Deadly Embrace, that one was region free. Dolomite was region free, so it's always cool to see stuff like that. You guys know I love my holiday horror, so it was obvious that I was going to have this one. I got the Arrow edition of this film, the DVD edition as well, but I had to have the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray edition. I'd heard raves about this one, and just a really great edition with some amazing features. That is Christmas Evil. I'm a big fan of this movie. I love this cover, by the way. It's just so cool. And it has a ton of stuff. Again, it's a new 4K restoration of the film. There's 2 commentaries on here with the director Lewis Jackson. There's a commentary with the filmmaker John Waters, who's a huge fan of the film. Archival interviews in here, deleted scenes, actor screen tests, just a bunch of stuff. Vintage test screening comment cards. And it's a horror holiday film with a heart. And you just got to see it to actually know exactly what I mean by that, but it really is. It's a really, really cool film. Definitely check this one out for the holiday season. It is it's a good one. I'm going to take a little drink from my tea, which I got put on the side there. I actually had to restart this video because I hit the corner. with my elbow, and like wasted a bunch of tea on this here, and I had to wipe it up. So my voice is a little gone right now. As I see some of the limited editions, by the way, I'm kind of putting them to the side so we can do the limited editions last. Now, next up is one called Demonoid. Don't you love that cover? Is that not the most awesome cover? I love it. And Alfred Zacharias did this one. He put out another. They did another one of his movies called The Bees, which I really, really like. There's actually two versions of this film. This is Demonoid and Macabre. It's been a while since I've seen this one, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. I did actually. This is one of the ones where I basically decided, again, Halloween time, I'm going to try and do almost a complete Vinegar Syndrome Halloween. So Demonoid, really looking forward to watching this one again. It's been a long, long time, but I remember this being pretty cheesy. Next up is the very first Vinegar Syndrome that I ever bought. It was because I actually love this movie. It's a very cheesy movie. I mean, very cheesy movie. It's an anthology. It's got 3 stories, and if you don't know what it is, you should. It is called Night Train to Terror. I love this film. I bought this up in Ottawa at a store that is now defunct, unfortunately, because they had a lot of this stuff. They pretty much like they specialized in like Vinegar Syndrome and a lot of like different like kind of really cool cheesy stuff. If I knew that they were going out of business, I would have my sister go over there and buy a bunch of their stuff. But unfortunately, I didn't find out until about like 4 months after they got out of business. Now, this is a really cool one. What's really good about this is that some of these movies on this one here, one in particular had an actual feature film, like made of the film, made of the short film, and it really gave a different like look to the film. Like the short film, that's the way that it's cut, and the actual feature film version of it, which actually is included as a DVD bonus on here, is it's really cool. So Night Train to Terror, it's got 3 stories: Harry, Greta, and Claire. It's very cheesy. It's definitely not for the kiddies, especially for the first story. But there's actually, again, Greta has some great kind of cool stop motion animation. There's some stop motion animation which is pretty cool in the movie Claire, in the story Claire too. But Greta has this kind of like this big like creature. They're in this kind of like death club, and one of the things they do is like to see if if they're going to get killed, if they're lucky enough to get killed, kind of like playing the death lottery. It's a really strange story, but it's really cool. The actress that played Greta, I found her really engaging. I really did. And I watched this movie here later on with Matt, and he felt the same way about the actress. And we checked it out, and she had only ever done this film, but we really did like it. So Night Train to Terror comes with an extra film, and actually not a bad one. Next up is Massage Parlor Murders. It's a cool little film. Not a great film, but it is definitely a good film. Got some different actors in here. This is not like it looks like it's gonna be an adult one, but it's not. What's really cool about this is if you're a fan of like of New York, you're gonna see like kind of like Times Square, New York, kind of like the oh man, there's some really cool like New York scenes in this film, like outdoor sequences. So it's almost like a postcard, like a postcard to New York, a love letter, so to say. And I really enjoyed this one, actually. That one did come with like a little booklet, kind of a card there as well, shot card, which I think it still comes with. So if you want to get that one, you still get that. It's a Blu-ray DVD double kind of combo pack, and it is region free, guys. So there's A, B, and C regions on there. Definitely worth checking out. Next up is probably one of my favorites, and I don't know how many times I've watched this movie, but I really, really enjoy this movie. I'm not sure what it is about this movie, but I like it. It's cheesy, it's crazy, it's insane. It definitely is the personification of a WTF film, and it's called Nightmare Week. And also, it's one of the best covers you're ever going to see. I'm not sure if the cover really fits the film, but it's really cool. There's a bit of everything in there. Now again, this is definitely not for kids, not an adult film by any means, stretch the imagination, but it is like there's definitely an exploitation film. It's so weird. I really don't know how to describe it. Like, here, let me read something off the back of this. Head explosions, gratuitous nudity, softcore sex, bikers, roller skating, a telepathic hand puppet named George. You just has to be seen, we believed. It is really cheesy fun, and I've watched it several times. Next up is another, this is kind of a more straightforward one, Frightmare. Pretty much this is about a horror actor that dies, and these people come like that are kind of fans of his to like have like a kind of a tribute, and stuff happens. Shenanigans happen. But again, Frightmare is a cool, cheesy one. There's like historical commentary on here with Dave DeVal and Dave Dakota. Interviews, new video interviews. This is a new 2K scan. I mean, like, they take movies that you would never think would get like a really good like restoration. They put a lot of work and a lot of time into giving them really good restorations. Remember when I mentioned The Bees, the one that I really liked? It's right here. I am a huge fan of this movie. I love this film, actually. And what a cast. I mean, like, we got John Saxon, Angel Tompkins, John Carradine. Just such a fun film. Claudia Brooks in this one as well. John Saxon plays this, he's the kind of like the ladies' man John Saxon character that he played a bit back in the day. John Carradine does a great job in this film. I really like the way this one. I like kind of like the twist and why the Bees are doing it, and where they go with it. I love this cover too. Isn't that kind of cool? Now there is like a alternate cover, which makes the Bee look horrifying. I'm not sure whether, is there a scene with a girl like, no, I don't think there's a bra and panty scene in this one. This actually is a pretty tame one. Actually, yeah, like this is probably, is this PG? It doesn't say. If it says, I don't see it right now, but again, it's like a region free one. It's, it's kind of just some of those cheesy kind of like eco-terror films that they put out. I'm putting on my So next up is Luther the Geek. Stacey Haddock is in this one here. She was in a soap opera recently. I think it might have been like Young and the Restless. She also, of course, was Lana Lang in Adventure Superboy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was April O'Neil in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I know she was in it. But I know she was April, one of them anyway. And Luther the Geek was originally a Trauma release, I think this one was, but it actually isn't bad. I mean, it's by the director of The Children. If you like that movie, then you're probably going to enjoy this. It's against, he's a geek, so you see him there about to bite the head off of a chicken on the cover. It's a different film, but I do like it. It was like let's see if I can show you the Trauma cover. This is more of like the Trauma cover here. It's cheesy, it's fun, and it's definitely on my Halloween watch for Halloween month of 2017. Next up is Evils in the Night, and I really like this movie. John Carradine, Tina Louise, Julian Newmar, Amber Lynn, Aldo Ray. Yeah, there's a lot of big stars in this one here. It's very cheesy. It's like, and it's aliens, and did they put the Millennium Falcon on the cover? Okay. No, it's not Star Wars, but apparently the poster had the Millennium Falcon in it. So there we go. But it's a really fun film. It's really strange and really cool. And I don't really want to describe it. I want you to like go in now pretty blank if you're going to go see this one, and just enjoy the craziness that is Evils of the Night. I really did like this movie a lot, actually. Next up is the only Paul Naschy Blu-ray that I have in my collection, and it came from Vinegar Syndrome, and it is Count Dracula's Great Love. As you guys know, I'm a very big vampire fan, and I really, even though like Paul Naschy was kind of like shorter and kind of stockier, I really did like his Dracula. He did a really good job of it. I liked it. I really did like it. There's like a booklet in here. There's a commentary with the director and the lead actor, Paul Naschy, of course, was passed on right now. New video interviews on here. It's got the English dub and the original Spanish language soundtrack as well. I usually watch these with the see if I can show you the other cover here as well. It's kind of, that's kind of cool. I like that. It's got a very Hammer feel to it. That's because Paul Nash was a very, very big fan of Hammer films, and he tried to make his films like kind of have that like Hammer style to it. Sounds like an eerie kind of like Warren Publications type of kind of like cover there for that booklet. And again, ABC region. So just so you know. Now let's get into my my limited editions. All these here, the rest that I'm going to show you, are limited edition releases. One of them, unfortunately, I think one of them at least is out of print. Some of the slipcover ones might be out of print, and I'm going to show you why Vinegar Cinema has the best damn slipcovers out in of any company today. Now, first off, let's get the two Richard Casey ones out. Now, Richard Casey ones, they were limited to 2,000 and 3,000. I think one of them is out of print. I'm pretty sure that's Hellbent. You guys can let me know if that one is out of print right now. I think it went out of print during the last sale. And it's right here. It's a kind of a cool, cheesy, like sell your soul for rock and roll type of movie. It's got some like actually pretty decent music in here. They mentioned here like, you know, music set in the LA's heavy metal and punk music scene. Yeah, I did like the soundtrack to this. I like the music. It's, you know, it's pretty low budget. They only did like 2,000 copies of this one, actually, I think. Yeah, limited edition 2,000. I really did enjoy this. You know, bunch of features on here as well. If you want to pause it and just see what's there, you can. But I enjoyed Hellbent. Now, in a more like Z-grade, crazy type of way, the other Richard Casey film is not quite as like, this one is like pretty coherent. This one is, next one I'm going to show you is batshit crazy, but it's a lot of fun. And that's Horror House on Highway 5. And they throw everything and just see what sticks. There's like a killer in a Richard Nixon mask. There's a Nazi. There's a girl in peril. There's a class that's doing a project. There's a rocket. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in this film, but I really did enjoy it. I really did. There's 3,000 of that one's limited to 3,000. Now, next up is one that that I actually missed out on the first time. This was a limited edition one. There were so many copies of this, but they found a few copies like that were left in one of their warehouses, and there weren't a lot of them, so I grabbed it right away. And of course, they're not like a company where they'll say, "Okay, we found more of these." Wink, wink, nudge, nudge type of thing. If they find something, then they've actually found something. And that was the case of this one here, a double feature of Crypt of the Living Dead and the House of the Living Dead. Now you can actually get the get a DVD of this one, although the Blu-ray is not around anymore. It's the DVD is, and this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. Really cool double feature if you like these type of like vampire films, and I really do actually. Again, these here are watches for Halloween, October 2017. So if you're going to be watching my Halloween month, I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews on a lot of these films here. So hopefully you guys will stick around and be able to watch that and give me your opinions on it as well. And maybe I'll set it up so that if some of you guys got some of these here, Vinegar Cinema, you can watch them as well and let me know what you think. The last of the regular limited edition releases without a slipcover. None of these came with slipcover version, by the way. Is this double feature here, and it's a 3-disc set, which is Blood Mania and Point of Terror. Now, what's really cool is that both of these films, both Blood Mania and Point of Terror, had like TV versions of the films that were made as well. You know, with stuff like other stuff taken out, other stuff added in. I gotta be careful. I can't knock that over again after this video over. And it actually has like a 3-disc now. It has the Blu-ray, the DVD, and it has a bonus one, the limited edition. Now it's only for this one here. And this one was limited to 3,000 as well. And basically that's the TV versions of these films. So if you want to get this with the TV versions of the films, with the more, and I do like the TV editions of a lot of these films, so they always add kind of like something different to it. There's a bunch of features on that as well, by the way. Just to let you guys know, there's like commentaries on here, video interviews with directors and actresses, promotional galleries for both films. And like I said before, it's a Halloween watch. Have I seen those? Yes, I have. But now, the 4 slipcover ones that I got from Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome does like a hard, heavy stock slipcover. They're not like the thin slipcovers you see. So like when you go and start by like a Scream Factory or a regular release, you're gonna get like a regular kind of a thin type of slipcover. They don't deal with that. They deal with the heavy cardboard stock slipcover, and you'll see what I mean as I'll show. So first off is Phyllis Davison, Sweet Sugar. Now this is kind of like one of these women in prison type films. It's a good one. It's actually, I really liked it. It had a bit of everything in it. It's like he threw everything into the film, and I really enjoyed this film. I had a blast watching it. And there's a video interview with the screenwriter on here, and that was interesting as well. This is called their limited edition O cards, what they call these slipcovers. So we got someone if there's hey, actually I never checked this, but there actually was an alternate cover, which I might change over to, because I like to have like the alternate, like I like to do them like with the slip with the alternate. So this, or the O card we call it. So as you can see, I don't know if you can see or not, you can tell, but it is a heavier stock, so a much sturdier slip cover than you're used to seeing. I had to make sure there's nothing on here. It's too bad. Okay, good. But it's well put together. So while I got you guys here right now, I think I'm going to like switch this over. Yeah, I definitely am. I like that. I like this, like kind of like it's kind of 70s style, cheesy, but really Sussex type cover. So I'll let you guys see it again with the like this. So that's the alternate artwork. Sometimes I turn them over, sometimes I don't. Depends on like how I like the art. I really did like that. It does have a real great feel to it for the film. So that's Sweet Sugar, that was in their last sale. And I'll do this one next. This is a really cool one. Remember, in the other videos talked about the lenticular Demon Wind, which is coming in the October release, which even if you don't want, I have all of them. They do really good lenticular covers. And you're about to see one of them right now, which is the classic Cheese Fest Jack Frost. So just so you guys can see, they really do a great job of the lenticular cover. So I'll just make sure you guys get like a good view of what they do. So yeah, they do that. So Demon Wind is going to be another excellent lenticular cover. Check it out online. They actually show it in motion. If you watch my video, I actually do show the motion of it. So again, commentary with the director, video introduction with the director, video introduction with the lead actor Scott McDonald, who played Jack Frost, video interview with director photographer, just a bunch of stuff. And Shannon Elizabeth actually would become more famous for the the American Pie movie, where she was like that huge nude scene. Actually, in American Pie, she's in this film. Well, she's younger in this one, so you don't really get a kind of a full-on nude scene for her there. Now there is kind of like there is this here, and just to show the other, like the Happy Jack Frost type of cover on there as well. Again, it's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack and A, B, and C region. So nicely done. And again, it's hard stock O card, and I really am a fan of that. I love the way they put their stuff together. Next up is Psycho Cop Returns. Here's one that I can't recommend highly enough. This one, Psycho Cop was a cheesy kind of a real B movie, but I really enjoyed it for what it was. Psycho Cop Returns takes it so much farther, and it really does go into like a really becomes like a kind of a comical horror comedy. It's really a black horror comedy. It does a great job, and you recognize some of the actors in there, by the way. Trust me, you definitely will. Especially the guy who plays Psycho Cop if you're a fan of the show The Office. Again, it's another one of those hard cases, and I love the way this is done. Now there is an alternate cover, but I don't think I'm going to change over, even though I do like the cheesy 80s-ness of the cover. I just like the way this that this one goes through. It's such a fun movie. A lot of features on this one as well. The 43-minute making of documentary, which was really good, by the way. The Victims Vickers feature with the SFX art, the special effects artist. We've got a commentary track with Adam Rifkin. Yes, Adam Rifkin directed this. So if you know who Adam Rifkin is, or if you don't, IMDb him, and you're going to be surprised by the director of Psycho Cop Returns. I'm listening. See, I have a couple cats that don't get along, and every once in a while they argue, and I hear them hissing at each other. So I have to stop and see if I'm going to have to go break up a literal cat fight, and not the fun kind. So, last but not least, from Vinegar Syndrome is a really cool. I really like this movie. And I never thought I was going to see this movie in the format that it should be seen in. But they did. I mean, like, this was put out, I think, by, not this one, a copy of this movie was put out by, I think, by Code Red. But this is the movie the way that it should be seen, with the right film showing in there, and the film put together the way that it's supposed to be. And that's Joe Spinell as The Undertaker. No, not the wrestling character. As you can see, it's got like kind of this cut with a kind of blood stain thing on it. I really like this. Again, it's another hard stock cover. So, oak hard as they call them. So there you go. And again, there's a booklet, Joe Spinell in there. And I really, really like this movie. I really do. He does a great job. Of course, you guys probably know him from the movie The Maniac, which again is a fantastic movie, and it's very much in the vein of that. Again, another one of the kind of creepy, sleazy characters that he plays. He plays an Undertaker, of course, and a murderous Undertaker. It's just really, really good. It gets into it right away. I like the way it's done. There's a commentary track in here that I gotta watch. I haven't watched yet. My voice starting to go. So I'm trying to make longer, like usually around 40-minute long videos. And now when I do this, kind of like to do give you like kind of a full, where I don't make videos all the time. As I'm making them, I want to give you guys some longer videos and a bit more content, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Let me know if you do. If you're liking these longer videos that's getting more in depth with the different parts of my collection, let me know if there's things that you want to see as well. By the way, that is The Undertaker right there. So I said, well, I didn't say in this time, but when I was doing this video for the first time, I said at the end, if I had some extra time, I'd give you kind of a bonus, like, mini collection thing. So here's one of my smaller collections that I got. So I'm going to give you a real quick look at my very small, modest Twilight Time collection. Every once in a while, I'll go through like a quick one of these to just give you a quick look at some of it, and if you want to see a more in-depth overview, you guys can let me know. So the Twilight Times that I've got in my collection right now are Bronson's 10 to Midnight, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Bronson film. Count Yorga Vampire, another great Bronson film with The Mechanic. Love this film. The classic remake of The Blob. Again, a fantastic little film. John Carpenter's Vampires, the 80s movie Strange Invaders, the Everybody Should Have Fright Night. There's also a really good UK release, so it's actually even better than this one here. So go for the UK one if you haven't got it. And Scream and Scream Again. I really like this movie too, by the way. So there you go. Just a really quick look. If you want me to go into Twilight Time or Code Red or any of the other film companies that I got in any greater detail, let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be be notified when I do more of these crazy super long videos. Have a great night. For me right now, I got to finish off that tea and maybe have like another cup because that one's gotten pretty stone cold right now. Thanks for watching. For me right now, it's time for tea. And guys, hope you had a great weekend, a great Labor Day. Have a good evening.